And joining us now is Jennifer, who is with us via Skype from the great state of Texas. Jennifer, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. It's great to be here.
Well, you know, you had quite a journey of discovery. You were an atheist and became a Catholic. What made you decide to write a book about your journey?
Well, I come from a long line of Texas storytellers. We just love to tell stories. And after this profound conversion happened, I realized it would simply make a good story. So I had a natural inclination to want to tell that story.
And Jennifer, in the book, there's a lot of these, as they like to say, aha moments. But can you share a brief account? There was an incident about a damaged bowl, if you could.
About a what?
Damaged bowl.
Yeah.
With your mom.
Oh, you said bowl. I thought you said bull. I was like,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, we have those here in Texas.
See? Now, let me tell you.
Did I write about that in the book?
That is the difference between a Boston accent and a Texas accent.
Right. So I put a bowl in the dishwasher the wrong way. It was just a simple bowl, but it belonged to my mother. I was living with her at the time, and it got completely melted and warped. And it sounds like a silly thing, but this was kind of in the middle of my conversion. I wasn't Catholic yet, but I was learning about the Catholic moral code. I was learning about the saints and humility. And I realized, I looked at myself compared to how a saint would react to that situation. And I saw the lack of humility in my heart, that under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have apologized. I would have insisted that I didn't really do anything wrong, and I didn't have to say I was sorry, even though it was over such a little thing. And my ultimate takeaway was just how much the lives of the saints can inspire us to really see what this moral code looks like in action, because it was only because I'd been reading about the saints that really clicked for me.
As your heart was changing and you were discovering that possibly you wanted to become a Catholic, was that surprising you that you were going in that direction?
Oh, very much so. I mean, when my husband and I got married, the only thing we had in common spiritually is that we were both anti-Catholic. I thought of it as, you know, all the stereotypes about organized religion and repressive and all that sort of thing. So I was absolutely shocked when I found that my spiritual life was really taking off, and I was just so much more filled with love and peace the closer I got to the Catholic Church.
Now, you had an early experience, too, that you talked about in the book at a summer camp where you were asked to accept Jesus, and you resisted that, but paid a bit of a price. Was it some confidence that allowed you to pursue the faith?
Well, what happened when I was younger was, you know, I lived in the Bible Belt, so I'd be pressured to get saved, you know, as they call it. And one of the things that they didn't realize was they never explained to me who Jesus was. And so I paid this price socially, that they saw me as, you know, hating their Lord and Savior. And the reality was, at that point anyway, when I was a child, I just didn't know who he was, you know. And so I did carry a lot of baggage with me, I think, from bad interactions with Christians. And that's one of the reasons I was very secretive about my conversion and took to the blog world, because I wanted that anonymity of the internet, because I still had such a bad taste in my mouth from early interactions with Christians.
And did you find when you went to that blog world that you started to find people who thought the same as you did? What was that like?
Well, yeah, it was fascinating. I found people who thought the same as I did, and they were all Catholic. The interesting thing is I recruited readers to my blog based on who could just demolish atheistic arguments in these online atheist forums. And I ended up recruiting all Catholics. I didn't know that they were Catholic. I had only identified them as people who could absolutely just demolish atheism when it came to philosophical arguments. And I realized they thought about the world the same way I did, and they were so reasonable. And I didn't know what to make of the fact that they were all Catholic at that point.
You know, I have great respect for you, because what I have found through working at Catholic TV for so long is usually it's the converts who know the faith even better than those of us who were born into the faith. Do you think that education is a key to learning more about Catholicism and loving the faith more?
I do think it is a key. I think the key is simply trying to become saints and trying to love Christ with our whole hearts. But I do think that education is a foundational aspect of a good faith life, because especially in this day and age, we will have to explain our faith, every single one of us, at some point. And it's good to know just how solid the foundation is for Catholic beliefs.
What was it like for you writing this book? You had some great reaction, and just reading some of the comments on the book in the back as well, about people really enjoying your story. And what was it like for you to go through your experience, your life, and putting it down into a book?
It was terribly hard, to be honest, because my literary agent is with a secular agency. He is not Catholic himself, and he really held me to very high standards. It took me 5 years to write the book. I had to rewrite it 3 times, and then even the final draft I had to revise countless times. It was very, very hard work, and what it taught me is that even when you're following a call from God, even when God inspires you to do something, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but you need to persevere anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, the book is Something Other Than God. Where can viewers learn more about the book and your work?
My website is conversiondiary.com.
Very good. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much. This has been a great interview. It was great to have the time to talk to you, even though our accents sometimes are hard to
I want to know more about the bull.
Next time I'll get closed caption.
Have a great day, Jennifer. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.